What is happening, comic fans? Welcome to the Legion of Comics. It's Sunday night. That means this is at Week's End, the spoiler-filled look back at this week in comics and so much more. Got a special guest tonight, but before we get into any of that stuff, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up and check this intro out. And give a shout out to the channel sponsors. Big Time Collectibles, they sponsor the monthly Legion Loot giveaway for the channel members, so be sure to hit that join button down below. Check out all the channel member options and see if it's something that's right for you. And if you need anything cleaner press, consider hitting up my friend Justin over on Instagram. Let him know you found him via the channel and take advantage of the special offers that he runs for viewers of the channel. And lastly, a huge shout out to the local shop and the local sponsor, the Augusta Book Exchange, or as it's now called, ABX Comics and Games, at their brand new location. Links are in the description to the videos for all of that. And a special announcement, be on the lookout for Pop's Attic as he's making an announcement tomorrow on his Instagram. He's doing a special little thing over there. You don't want to miss out. I'm giving you the fair warning now. You definitely don't want to miss out on that. So let's go ahead and bring in the co-hostess with the mostest, hailing all the way from the next sector over, Mr. Paul Cook. What's happening?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm
That's
good.
nice that you. That's nice that you think that I'm special.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not the special guest.
Never
mind.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Unfortunately, TM Nerdy cannot make it tonight. And this is not a sub or fill-in for TM Nerdy. This person was invited before TM Nerdy couldn't make it. So we do have a special guest. We needed somebody to help review some comics and talk some trash. And I know no one better to do those two things than Evil's Comics. What's happening? What is going on, man?
We'll talk some trash.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I have no way informed in shape of a replacement of TM. He's on a whole other level.
He's a power bottom.
See, there you go. I can't.
He's a
replace that.
Best power bottom. I do want to point that out. Yeah. And no one can take that from him. So let's say hey to the people in the chat real quick. Las Cruces 1971, clocking in early at 5:24, returning at 7:34. He's first and second, taking no prisoners. What is going on? Headquake, what is going on? Jeff, hope you're having a good night tonight. I was first to like this. The show better be good or I'm taking my like back. That's fair. Yeah, AEW Double or Nothing is on tonight. We're counter-programming pay-per-view wrestling. That's the worst thing about this time slot. It's counter-programmed to everything, like The Last of Us, Game of Thrones. Like whenever there's something big going on, this is always counter-programmed to it. It is what it is. I would be lying if I said I'm not keeping up with AEW. Bleacher Report playing on my phone down here. I'll go back and watch it tomorrow, but every now and then I can peek down and see who the winners are, kind of thing. What is going on, William? How are you doing today? Phil's Treehouse. Yo, that was the most incredible time I had on YouTube in a long time watching a show. I don't know if I can say that enough. Phil put on a fantastic trivia show with TM Nerdy and Geek Out with Roscoe. That the amount of time, effort, and energy and pre-planning that he put into that to make it entertaining and fun for everyone, it was just next level. So big shout out to Phil. If y'all haven't checked his channel out, go check it out and check out. That was just the first episode he's done. Go check that out. It's an absolute blast.
The production value alone was, it felt like a real TV show. Yeah, it was epic.
It was through the roof. Kudos, my man. Derek Kane, what is happening? Hello. And still, yeah, he did say FUBAR. Definitely, as you can see from the thumbnail for tonight, I'm going to definitely touch on that. That was a blast. I enjoyed it. What is going on, Pops? Again, be sure to check out his Instagram page. Tomorrow is a big announcement. Collecting with Durs. Hello, long time no talk to. Pocan Joe is in the house. What is up? Coco loves Chevy. What is up, John? Hope you're doing good, brother. El Green Machine is in the building. Hello. Esteban, my man, what is happening? What is going on?
Apparently I had a black screen again, but I'm okay now. I'm better.
Yeah, you better?
Yeah.
I thought he was doing that on purpose. So I was like, he's just being mysterious.
No, he has weird internet over there.
Yeah, I do.
Roger, what is happening, brother? Hope you're doing good tonight. Now we got gay jokes. Yeah, just for you, Esteban. Just for you. Who else we got here? Freaky Louie himself is in the building. What is happening? That reminds me, don't forget to check out the cbcawards.org. That's the Comic Community Awards.org. Brian LCS puts it together. It's a super fun way to support channels that you enjoy, find new channels, this and that. So go over to cbcawards.org and vote for Freaky Louie in every single category, despite the category, and let the council or whatever they're called, the sorter outer people work it out from there. But just vote Freaky Louie in any and all categories.
Price Waterhouse can figure it out.
Exactly. I generate a lot of power from the bottom. Two pay-per-views tonight, AEW and WWE. Yep. Sounds like one to me. Yeah, I just don't keep up with WWE at all. Kenneth Bird, what is happening? Thank you. Doing it again a week from today. Fantastic. Izzy, my man, what is happening? Hey, guys, watching at Weeks In and AEW Double or Nothing. Yeah, I feel you. Doing the same two things. Would you rather have Fubar or Snafu? As of right now, a Fubar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, notice the screen is not black anymore.
Snafu sounds like you need a shot.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm down with the Snafu.
John, what has happened? Glad you can make it tonight. I think I've made it to the bottom of the chat. Now, before we go any farther, I want to do a couple of things. First off, the people, especially in the rewind, catch the front end of the show more than the back. So I do want to go ahead and give y'all an opportunity to announce what you got coming up this week on your channel. And I want to show off what this massive Legion Loot giveaway prize is that will be given away next Sunday after that.
Okay. On my channel, tomorrow morning, we will have Mr. Mark and myself will have the newest episode of DC Comics Deep Dive. We'll be taking a look at the first 2 issues of Green Arrow as part of the Dawn of DC. So that's tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. This is an off week for Guess That Key, but we'll be back a week from Wednesday, and we will have on Comic Man Andy and Beckerman will be on.
I'm really looking forward to that. That's such a fun show. I told Paul just the other day, I've already got my book pulled for the next episode, ready to rock and roll. Mike, what do you do?
What am I got going on? I'll be on Phil's Treehouse on June 18th. I'll be one of the contestants. I don't know who I'm facing off against, but I will be on Phil's Treehouse. And besides that, that's the only thing I have scheduled. Everything else is just random reviews like I normally do on New Comic Book Day, picked up stuff like that. It's all my channel ever does.
Well, that's all sounds like good stuff. So yeah, if y'all didn't know, Mike does a ton of like well thought out reviews. Probably the most detailed, probably the most valuable reviews ever given was of Aggressively Relaxing's comic book that he created, Suck It Up, Old Man. Which
Suck It Up.
That's actually a fantastic book. Yeah, that guy is like ridiculously smart.
I love that book.
Yeah, it was
I didn't think it was going to be that good, but when he was describing it, I was like an old man with a vacuum. I was like, what can that story be about? But it was actually pretty good.
The old man is the vacuum.
Right.
All right, so for those that don't know, there shouldn't be too many. We have the channel membership over here. If you hit that join button down below, it takes you to a page where you can see what the channel membership is. There's 2 different tiers. If you join the Legion tier, it puts you into a monthly giveaway that Big Time Collectibles sponsors. So there's always books from Big Time Collectibles in the giveaway, but I always throw some more stuff in there and see what else we can find. And that's what I want to show everyone here because we're at the end of it. I don't really promote it till we get toward the end, but these are the books that are going in this month's Legion Loot giveaway. So Legal Burning, the artist always has sent me a lot of stuff to put into these throughout the month. So we have some Star Wars pieces in honor and reverence of the Galactic Star Cruiser. And then Dr. Von Hoot, did his first ever exclusive cover with some friends. So we have his exclusive. If you did not check it out, it comes with stickers, tattoos, and stuff. So you get the whole thing as if you'd bought it yourself. I threw an X-Men reprint in there. And then the Big Time Collectible books is got a Miko Batman 125, is it? Yeah, 125. Gorgeous cover. Batman Joker Deadly Duo, the black and white exclusive. Predator #1. And we have a Spider-Man #1 Felipe Masafero variant, which is freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful.
And be on the lookout for this Wednesday. The video post with like a giant stack of brand new exclusives from them they sent to reload these giveaways.
Stacked. BTC stacked you up with what's
Stacked.
coming up.
Yeah.
So a Scotty Young Secret Invasion issue number 1 will be in there because I know that show's coming. And Guardians dropped this past month, so we have an Avengers 257 first appearance of Nebula. Marvel Spotlight on Star-Lord issue number 6. So this is the first appearance of Star-Lord in comic size book. He did come out in the big oversized format magazines first, and then this is when he moved over to comics. One of my favorite stories of the past few years has been Liam Sharp's Starhinge. So I ordered multiple copies of Liam Sharp's Starhinge to put in here. This was just a fantastic read. It's still factory sealed. So there's one of those in this month's. I'm going to put one in next month's as well because it's just a story that has to be read. It's art that has to be experienced. This was fantastic. And book 2 is confirmed now. And then lastly, I got a little book from 1974 in a CGC 8.0. This is the last Len Wein story on Swamp Thing issue number 13. So that will be in there as well. It's a freaking sweet Swamp Thing.
Really nice.
It's like 50-year-old book in an 8.0. So all of that will go to one lucky channel member. At least I feel they're lucky because there's a lot of channel members. So if you win, you get that whole stack.
All that just for being a member.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So now you see where the channel membership money that comes in goes. Right back out. So we did have a super chat. Definitely appreciate that. He says, Mike, make a video of your t-shirt collection.
I get that a lot. I don't know why, but I get that a lot. One day I'll have to do a video of my t-shirt collection.
Headquake said, possible AEW spoiler. I got a feeling when the cameraman is going to reveal to be a wrestler, he's in all black with a face mask. They do that to avoid being noticed by the other cameramen. That's 100% the usual thing.
Maybe he's just a ninja in training.
He could be, or they could be doing a swerve. But I've noticed that before about like the stagehands and the cameramen. They dress them in black and try to keep them really low.
Yep.
Spend the $6. Don't be a cheap bitch. Appreciate the support, Jeff. You are the man. Wow, those Batman covers look gorgeous, and Spider-Man 1 too. Yeah, absolutely. Big Time Collectibles puts on some wicked stuff. Yeah, it was awesome meeting you too. He was over on Durz's sesh. We were session so hard just a little bit ago. I never heard of Star. Dude, it's fantastic. It's Liam Sharp's creator. Yeah, he'd been working on it for like 20 years before he brought it to print. It's absolutely.
I love that you get that explanation in the beginning of the story. Like it was all like his passion project and stuff like that before the story starts, and then you get into it.
Even if you don't want to read it, if you just want to look at amazing art, it's still worth it just to look at the amazing art.
Yeah. The next series for Starhinge is called Orn. I thought it was just O-R-E. But you got the teaser for that in the back of Starhinge. But the actual book 2 of Starhinge is confirmed. That spinoff series was confirmed at the end of Starhinge, but book 2 of Starhinge was contingent on the sales of the collected volumes. That's where it was sitting sales-wise. And it sold enough of the collected volumes that they're pushing book 2 now, which is fantastic. But yeah, I'm excited for Orn as well. Interesting first appearances. Yeah, I think so.
Nebula.
Hope they're interesting.
Star-Lord.
If I win, I want it shipped. He lives local here, by the way.
It's like 2 streets away. I still want it shipped.
Other cameramen don't have face masks. There it is. I hope that they're paying this wrestler for doubling as a cameraman.
Right.
Durs is taking a shower currently. Good news. We caught up with the chat. All right, so let's get into it. Any comic news, geek culture news stuff that caught y'all's attention this week? For me, the one and biggest thing that caught my attention was where James Cameron actually announced that he's working a Terminator script. That it's not anything. Yeah, it's not anything that's near production point. And he said in the interview he's working it, but he got to a point where he wanted to stop and watch how the current AI technology kind of trends in the next couple of years to make his next creative decisions based off that. Which his Terminator franchise has always been about the dangers of AI and humanity always having this weird desire to self-destruct as is. So that'd be an interesting place for James Cameron with that.
If he's waiting for AI to advance to a point before he makes his creative decisions, would they really be his creative decisions, or would they be AI's creative decisions?
Well, I don't think he's going to wait and ask AI what to do. I think he's just watching what it does. When he started Terminator, like 1984 is when it was released. I don't tell him how long he'd been writing it. Like he was already talking about stuff that's come to pass 30 years later, so he might be trying to see where it's going to try to project ahead a little bit farther.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That got me excited. I think that I'd say it all the time. Terminator 2 is the greatest action movie that's ever been made. I absolutely love it. And it's been a while since we've had like one that's unanimously agreed upon as being a fantastic Terminator movie.
No, that I agree. The funny thing is, I like Salvation, and a lot of people did not like Salvation.
I haven't seen one that I disliked. Like I recognize
they're all
better than others. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all okay watches. None of them are like terrible watches. It's not like they went the B route, no. But as far as them comparing to like the first two,
no. See, I think that's the problem. Like T2 is literally the pinnacle. That's the mountaintop. That's what people strive and can never reach, and that's what people are following. You know what I mean? Like there's no up to go. Like you can only be less than. Saw a news article speculating there might be a G.I. Joe meets Transformers movie in the works. Yeah, I've been seeing.
I can kind of see credibility because Hasbro has been trying to do that shared universe like everybody else, and they have mentioned Joe and Transformers before, and there is a book, it's already been established before many times, right?
I think we have the Transformers Rise of the Beast is only a week or two out, right? Like the 9th or something like that.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get some kind of after credit stinger, if they'll try to attempt to do something with that.
That would be cool. I mean, because I don't know what they're doing with G.I. Joe franchise. I don't think they're going to continue the first two movies. So it would be kind of cool to see like a little hint, like that there's Joes in the same world as Transformers.
Yeah, that would have been a layup right there. John Cena being a Joe in the first Transformer movie, or in the first Bumblebee. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity for sure. See what else hit. If you're interested in reading DC Comics, they're doing a promo for a $50 annual membership to their DC app.
Mm-hmm.
And check out the app. Promo is just Dawn of DC. Yeah, that's a killer deal.
Image announced that they were moving to Lunar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a massive one, and not just that. They announced that starting in September, that their books will be released on Tuesday. Now they're still up to the shop if the shop's going to hold them hostage or come up off of them, but Image will be okay with their books being sold on Tuesday now, making those Marvel variants on sale Wednesday even more funny.
Yeah, well, DC started that. DC started that because of because Lunar was getting the books there in time, obviously for Tuesdays, but also because like the Barnes and Nobles, they put their hardcovers out on Tuesdays. And so shops were complaining, some shops were complaining that you could buy a DC hardback book at Barnes and Noble the day before you could buy it at a comic book store. So DC said, okay, you know what? We'll let all the comic book stores put our books out on Tuesdays.
It's the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
Yeah.
My schedule is literally formulated to pick my books up on Tuesdays. So I think if we could just get Valiant to move over to Lunar so that I can get Exo on Tuesdays, I'm pretty much set. There's really nothing else.
I looked for Exo. My shop did not get it.
It's really good. That third issue was dope. See, y'all got anything with any news with solicitations or anything? They announced the Gotham War post Night
Yeah, I
Terror.
saw that.
What are y'all thinking of a Batman event?
Another
I'm
Batman
kind of biased.
Catwoman
I
event.
like all the Batman stuff, so I can't. Like, to me, honestly, like I like the unsaturated Batman amount that we're in right now, but I wasn't like in the other opinion where it was like too much Batman. I bought everything Batman. I was reading like the whole damn Bat Family, which was like probably like 15 issues or whatever. But I mean, still wasn't overkill or whatever. I think it's just it amounts to, is it bad Batman stories and stuff like that. You know, and to me, it really hasn't lately.
Yeah, and it's and people, man, the just like the general like social media audience, when you see people commenting on these news, it gets brutal. It's like a lot of people that don't necessarily keep up with comics outside of just looking at social media announcements. But it's not like a
Most
big
times,
event. Yeah, it's just a
most times when I see those kind of comments, it's from people that aren't even like reading modern comics. They're seeing the advertisement and they're like, "Oh God, Wonder Woman's got another kid. Oh God, Batman's fighting Catwoman again." Like, you know, it's like, are you even reading comics? I mean, when was the last time Batman physically fought Catwoman? It's been.
So I had a
I wouldn't
conversation
even.
with a guy under Jim Lee's post about Gotham War. He's like,
I saw
why
that.
are we doing a Batman event? Why aren't we doing a Wonder Woman event? I'm like, yo, we just finished a Wonder Woman event last week. It's like,
I
yeah, but
wanted to bring this up.
that wasn't an event with like other people in it. I'm like, yeah, it was. It had these other people and tied into this. It's like, yeah, but it
I was
wasn't
on
Dawn of
IG.
DC. I'm like, yeah, but her Dawn of DC run hasn't started yet. He's like, yeah, but I'm like, I'm done. This is just
Right.
loud.
I was on IG and I saw like the whole 27 comments of you like trying to set that guy straight. And I love your form and format when you do that with those type of people, because you don't get angry, you don't get mad, you set them straight, you give them nothing but facts. But it's so interesting to read because they go to like no answer, and eventually you're like, bro, I'm not running around with circles with you. You're just saying crap. And it's so interesting to read.
And he kept moving the goalposts. It's like it's not Dawn of DC. It wasn't promoted by Jim Lee. It was like he literally said that at one point. Like yeah, but Jim Lee's not sharing about that. And they didn't properly build up to it. They didn't lead her up. Like, bro, what? It's not like it's just an end title event. In the Batman books,
Yeah.
you know, Catwoman has her Dawn of DC book started. Batman has his. It's just gonna be what's happening in those books. It's not like a
Honestly, at the moment, the only thing I could think that story would like what's going to be the build up is because they're trying to make Punchline a hero now. I know you're not reading like the whole Punchline and Catwoman stuff, but that's what they're doing with Mia, because like Punchline I was kind of hyped for that. They were making her kind of doing like an Amanda Waller kind of thing, because she was acquiring different villain groups and becoming a leader. But recently they're doing this thing.
And if you read the story about it, it almost seems like, yes, it's a Batman Catwoman story, but it almost seems as though the person who might come out the most changed might be the Red Hood by the time it's
He's
done.
teaming up with Catwoman in this whole battle, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The Twitter dweebs talk about comics without actually reading them are always too annoying to read on that site. Yeah, I've never announced this on my channel, but I have a Twitter. I have a Twitter, and it's a little bit in and out. I have a Twitter, and I kind of just operate silently over there to check out like news sites for like the Flash and follow writers and stuff like that. I think I've experimented with 2 posts, and you'll kind of get an idea of how long I've had it. I've had it for a long time. And, I'm not a fan of the Twitter format. It's one of those things, like, it's still new to me, even though I've had it for months, that I just don't know how to use it. I think I'm at that age.
Same way. I have a Twitter too, but I never post. I just use it to follow people and see what they're saying.
I have a Twitter. And I don't like all the amounts of like hate that's on there. It's just, I mean, there are some goodness on there, and there's like, you know, actual writers and stuff that are trying to, but man, you go read like their posts, and it has nothing to do with like comics or whatever. It'd be like political related stuff or racist shit. No, I got off of Twitter. I don't have time for all that.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's any better.
Crazy. That was one of the things that got me to like step away from Facebook, which I also have a Facebook page. I have a personal one and a Legion of Comics one, and I don't mess with my personal one anymore at all. I'll go over there and just like I don't have alerts or notifications on for Facebook. It's just the difference in the platforms from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. It's just mind-boggling how the
I just
toxicity.
I don't use
Yeah.
Facebook anymore. It's kind of become obsolete now, and and I think it's going to be that way. Instagram might be the same thing in a couple of years.
We have not talked about FUBAR already, but I'm definitely.
Facebook is going to be like MySpace. It's going to be like the abandoned amusement park of the internet.
Exactly.
They're promoting AEW Fight Forever game. I posted that on my IG a week or two ago when they announced the actual release date of it. If anyone saw the gameplay from the past few days, it's laughable. They need to delay it again and upgrades. I think they're intentionally formatting that. Well, I know that they've intentionally formatted AEW's Fight Forever to look like pretty much just a modern day N64 platform game. The gameplay, the style of it, it's intentionally meant to be easy to play, difficult to master, but they're doing it based off like the platform from the N64 golden era. And they're doing that on purpose. And that's because of that reason I've been looking at and like kind of talking to people about the PS5 and stuff like that. And I was holding out to see if I win DJ Links, but it doesn't have a disc slot. And I think the learning curve for me going from a Nintendo 64 to a console I can't even put a video game in is going to be way too big. So I might just have to go back to looking at buying my own.
Facebook seen the Switch? The Switch, it's a little like microchip you put in it, and those are the games.
Yeah, there's all right. So my wife wants to play the Harold Potter game. She likes Harold Potter.
I want to play the Harold Potter game. Where can we get this Harold Potter?
He's grown up now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's grown up now, so he goes by Harold. And
Mr. Harold Potter to you.
Sir Harold Potter.
Sir Harold Potter.
Yeah, I want to get the AEW game so I can play as Sting and only Sting and forever and always Sting. And I would be fine with that. I'd play with a bunch of people on that game. I know that I would
forever in time.
Yeah, and then I want this upcoming Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora. It's like this open world like if you get me that Avatar game and my wife the Harold Potter game and that wrestling game, I mean that's it. That's all we need. And then we'll have a console for when the kids start to get a little bit older. Yeah, it's called Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora, and it's open world, dude. I'm like, dude, this looks amazing.
You may never get up from the couch again.
See, and that's my fear. Like, I don't have time to do half the stuff in my life right now. So I feel like if I get those games, it'll take me till I die to play them. So I'd be set.
There you go.
Headquake's waiting for an upgraded PS5. My friend has been trying to recruit me to Potter. How's it going? So wait, you haven't played games since 64? Yeah, all right. So I've had like small spurts, right? Where I've played stuff like years ago, I got a PlayStation 3 used, and within a month I bought because I never played a game online. I've never done that. Like Call of Duty, I've only ever played like the by yourself mode, the story mode or whatever.
Yeah, the campaign.
Yeah, my stepmom had a PS2, and I played like a open world Western game that I loved. I just walked around and like hunted animals and sold pelts for hours. Like this is amazing. I'm Dirty Harry, y'all. But I bought like the Deadpool video game, the Punisher video game, the Wolverine Origins movie video game. Like my brother had a PS2 when I was growing up. And we played I pretty much bought like superhero games or movie games. I played the first Batman Arkham game, and I had it for a few months, and then I was done with it. But now 64, I've had since 1998, and now I have 7 Nintendo 64s, 12 controllers, and about 80-something games where I just continuously buy them whenever they come up for a good deal. I'm always afraid that what if mine dies? I need another one, and the first one hasn't died yet, so I'm up to 7 of them. But I'm prepared in case one does. Yeah, they become orphans. I just be sucked in, over with. But the thing is, like, I get out the 64 or the Super Nintendo, and the kids love playing them, you know. But I feel like that's easy for them to play. Yeah, dude. I
I think
haven't
it's
been.
like that with every generation. They're more used to the technology kind of thing.
Yeah, the Batman
Keep it,
Begins PS2 game. I remember that one because you go around and literally use fear as a weapon and stuff.
keep it for another 20 years. You'll retire on it when you sell it.
Yeah,
Right.
dude, those N64s go for about $200 to $250, like with two working controllers. And I only have original Nintendo controllers. I don't do the Mad Cat controllers or this or that. And I always
Yeah,
check the
you don't.
joysticks to make sure they're not busted. All my controllers have good joysticks, except the atomic purple one that came with my original. That one's worn out from hitting that special on WCW NWO Revenge.
They're easy to fix.
All right, so we talked about how backwards and old I am when it comes to video games long enough. Fubar dropped this week on Netflix, released on the 25th. If you don't know, Fubar is a brand new 8-episode show released on Netflix, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and the girl from Top Gun, the pilot. I think her call sign was Phoenix or something. I do not know the actress's name, but she plays his daughter. It's the spirited sequel to True Lies. It is in no way the direct sequel or even in the same universe. It's just the spirited sequel to it. The premise is Arnold's CIA operative, the show starting, and he's retiring. Right as retirement, he gets called in to go pull another agent out of a hostile situation. He gets there, finds out the agent is his daughter, who he did not even have a clue was in the CIA, and then awesomeness ensues from there. I finished it yesterday. It was a blast. It was action-packed. It was hilarious. It was, like Tyler said, it's an easy watch. And on top of that, it's like has moments of like legit drama and character growth all sprinkled through it. It's almost like getting 2 short seasons in one, like the way that it's packaged in the first 4 episodes to the latter 4. It was a blast. I enjoyed it a lot. Highly suggest it. What is going on, Perry? Hell yeah, Fubar is great. My dad and I have been watching it together. So good. Dude, this is, and that's another thing. Like, if you're a fan of Arnold or if you come up enjoying his career, it's like specifically formulated for you. Like the age thing and everything and applying the whole dad angle. What they've done with Superman is applying the dad angle.
Yes. She drops Easter eggs. And so I've only watched the first 2, but in the first 2 episodes, I caught 5 different Easter eggs from previous movies because he touched base on Kindergarten Cop, Predator. He did the whole chopper scene. He did Terminator 2. He did Terminator 1. But that I kind of appreciate that the writers are actually using that and kind of encompassing it. They're not tacky or bad. You actually barely catch them how he said, like the whole chopper thing. He was all like, "Dang it, they're bringing a chopper," you know, when they were
Did
trying
you
to
get
start
the throw mama from the train reference? Like he's avoiding knowing Danny DeVito.
I don't know if I caught that one.
I think it was
they were on the train.
Well, in the second episode, it's a phrase that he tells his daughter, and she's like, "You stole that from Throw Mama from the Train." He's like,
I think I did.
"I've never seen that, so I made it up. I made the phrase up." Like they come back to that joke. It might be in the 3rd episode. It's toward the beginning. I kind of binged it, so they blur together a little bit. But by the end of the show, they come back to that reference in an amazing way with the ultimate like little Easter egg for twins. It's amazing.
I've loved it, but I'll say one thing. It feels like a show, and I can't place I want to say it's like a big show. And as I was watching it, I felt so reminiscent of the music that they picked, you know, because it kind of feels like an 80s or 90s action, you know, show with the music at least.
Like an A-Team music vibe to it.
Yeah, kind of. And it's like, it honestly feels like a merge of different shows. Maybe that's why I can't place the nostalgia that I'm feeling. But there's some great things about the show. The cinematography is super on point, you know, especially like the first shot of how it started out. I was like, it's pretty nice. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Now it is a Netflix comedy show. They're hour-long episodes. I was shocked by that. I thought we were going to get shortchanged, and not necessarily shortchanged. I just knew it was going to be an action comedy, so I was expecting 30-minute episodes. But we get hour-long episodes, and it is something that I'm already wanting to rewatch because it was kind of that delightful. And at this point, after you've seen it, it's one of those fantastic shows or movies that you watch, and you're just like, I don't want to sit down and have to commit 100% to watching something, but I want something on in the background, you can just fire it up and look up and catch jokes and little moments all throughout it as you rewatch it. I'll be revisiting this one for certain.
I want to say that's how my brother watched it, because I was kind of watching it and he was kind of watching in the background, and he still enjoyed everything that he saw in the background, kind of thing. And that's rare to do with a TV show. Most people are just like, "What's going on? Huh? What is it?"
Flash Ray wants to know, did anybody see the Machine movie that came out this weekend? Burt Kirshner and Mark Hamill killing it. And this is based off of that little actual that routine that Burt does, I believe, like meeting the Russian mob. It's based on a true story or event with him. I heard about it coming. Nick's Kicks and Comics had sent me the actual routine he did up on stage in a stand-up act about it. And then he sent me the trailer a while back. I'm not a Burt fan. I don't dislike Burt. I just don't. His stand-up isn't my jam. But I'll probably check that movie out when it comes out. I love comedy movies in general. It might be more funny having not seen the stand-up routine or not seen all of his stuff.
From the name, it doesn't imply that it's a comedy.
Yeah, it is. It's like that's like what the Russian mob call him. It's a nickname. You'd have to see the routine to really get it. But the Machine sounds like something with Christian Bale, an anorexic Christian Bale in my mind. The Machinist, or what it was called back in the day.
Yeah,
the Machinist.
The Machinist.
Avatar had a game for the first movie for Xbox 360. I'm hoping the new game will be good. I did not play that for the Xbox 360. I have the game for the PSP. I do have one of those. That just reminded me that I have one of those.
I don't think I ever knew an Avatar game had come out, and I am a big video gamer. I just don't know. It probably flew under the radar or something.
You should check out the commercial and gameplay for the upcoming one. You get to like catch your Banshee and all. Dude, it looks wicked. Even Dirge, Dirge is my go-to judge for video game stuff. He's very judgmental of video game stuff because he spends a lot of time doing video game stuff. And he's like, yeah, that game looks insane. Like, just talking about the visuals and stuff.
We were talking about all the news, and all the news. The biggest news that I have is like video game stuff. It was all the different trailers that like Sony had dropped. You know, Alan Wake 2. I've been waiting for that game for 20 years.
What's it called?
Yeah, Alan Wake. It's about a writer. It's kind of a survival horror game, and it's about a writer that's trying to solve this mystery. And as you go through the game, you find out it's kind of one of those everything's in his book kind of thing. It's like all in his head, but playing the physical game, it was fantastic. So getting a sequel to it, and it looks very similar. It's pretty dope. They announced they're doing they're remaking Metal Gear Solid 3, and they're going to do a collection of all 3 games that are remastered and remake. That was a big deal, getting like Metal Gear news, but I'm not a big Metal Gear fan.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for the new Spider-Man game and the Metal Gear game. Yeah, the graphics look good. It's just one of those things. Like, to me, it's just the next Spider-Man game. Like, back in the day, I played Spider-Man 2, the movie game, Spider-Man 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first open world Spider-Man game where you just swing around and just save people all day long kind of thing. It was fantastic. And then after that, they're all just another Spider-Man game. And they've come out with a new Spider-Man game like every couple of years, like for my entire life. And then they have this Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 or whatever with the white symbol that, yeah, there it is. I don't have it for PS2 anymore, but I have it for my PSP still. But I bought a PSP later in life. I think I was in 12th grade when I got one, when they were a few years old at that point. Still got it. But the white symbol Spider-Man game, kind of like, I guess it like changed it up because of how good the story was or something. Like, I never played it. I know the one before this one.
The PS4. Yeah, you haven't played the first one. You haven't played that. Oh, it was good. I mean,
what about it was so good is what I'm wondering. Like, because again, it's just another.
I mean, technically, the story it's like you said. Every Spider-Man game's like that. Like, it's pretty much. But I can say with the Spider-Man games, they've done a good deal with every Spider-Man has been decent throughout the years. It hasn't been like back burner comic book games. They've kind of been top of the line, but that Spider-Man game, I can say specifically, it was open world. The combat system, it was real fluid. Like if you played that Batman Arkham Asylum, it played a lot like that. I mean, it was built and modeled. I mean, basically that Batman Arkham Asylum kind of broke the mold. And there's a ton of games now that are kind of based, off of that format, the combat style, but it works real well with Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was so well, they even dropped like a second DLC, which was almost like a second game, and that was the whole Miles thing.
Yeah, I'm sure if and when the day comes I get a modern console, I won't be playing video games hardly any more than I do now. Like as often as I play the Nintendo 64 and the Super, which I haven't even played them since we moved. I've bought another Nintendo 64 since we moved. There's one in a box sitting down here right beside me, but I haven't played them since we moved.
Big part of gaming is stories. You're just missing out on some really cool stories. But luckily, my wish is a bunch of these getting made into movies. Finally, we got for. How did you always stay right? Oh, you does that.
I was never a gamer, to be honest with you. So.
Well, that's like me in sports. Start talking about sports and wrestling. That's
and the reason I wasn't was because of what I said to Mark, is that if I bought video games between video games and comics and DVDs, I would never get up off of my couch.
Yeah.
You have to no time. It's like the circle. I got to spend time with this. I got to spend time with that. I got to spend time with this. And it's kind of a revolving door. Nah, but I've been waiting and hoping that the video game to movie format gets better, because there's a lot of good stories within video game, and there's not, and some people just don't have the ability to play games, like due to their eyes or hand and eye coordination, So it's like one of those things that I've been waiting for another way for people to experience these stories and stuff. There's some good ones out there. Mass Effect, man. I'm hoping they do Mass Effect.
We all want to switch it over into some comics from this week. It was a small week already. Dude, this will be like 3 small weeks in a row for me.
We didn't talk about the fact that Max was birthed this week. You have it on your thumbnail.
Oh yeah, it's on the thumbnail.
Yeah, so Max was birthed this week. Basically the new Max. Along with Shazam, the new Shazam movie was loaded there the first day, which was Tuesday, I think.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff left, but if you read anything about any of the streaming services, you'll see that a lot of stuff is leaving a lot of streaming services in an effort. And I think we talked about this last week. It's an effort to slash some money. If people can't view it, they don't have to pay residuals to people. So. It's a way that they can, save some money by cutting some of their content out, and just.
And to that point, a lot of stuff left Max, but they have, it looks like, more content on here as a whole now because they merged multiple platforms. So what it is they went from HBO Max to just Max because they don't want people to think this is just the home of HBO and now is the home of Discovery Plus. It's the home of like an extended Warner Brothers catalog and more. So there's tons of stuff on there now.
And one of the things that a lot of the companies are doing now is Warner Brothers is going to have a free streaming service. It will have commercials on it. So things like Westworld, if you used to watch Westworld on Max, you can't watch it on Max anymore. It's going to be on their new free thing, kind of like Pluto TV. It's going to be like Pluto TV.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the reason why they're doing that is so that they can put commercials there, and that will hopefully pay for having it there. So they'll be making money on it that way, as opposed to just having it on Max where people can watch it. So
Esteban said he saw the Shazam 2 on the new Max, and he enjoyed the movie a lot. Just remember, Esteban, the unicorn does not love you. Yeah, that line, I died laughing. Like how serious Jaimin Hansu was delivering comical lines when Dar was like, I love unicorns, but the unicorn does not love you. I'm like, dude, it was so funny. I thought it was a fun movie. I can definitely see why it got the reviews it did, but Dude, I said it going into it. Like I don't know how the first one did as good as it did. I think a lot of people thought they were going into a Marvel movie. They just didn't know the difference, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, and I think it had to do with, I mean, dollar
YouTube
wise,
out
I'm
here.
not sure how well it did, but I think it probably made it was more profitable because they didn't spend as much money on it.
Yeah, it was an
So
80 mil movie.
yeah,
As long as I can watch Mountain Monsters, I don't care what they change their name to.
yes, there's a lot more Discovery on there now on
Mhm.
Max. So
And I haven't even dove into it yet. I've see, what have I watched? I watched the big wave scene from San Andreas. I watched Shazam 2. I watched Bloodsport this morning.
Watch Shazam too.
Was that your first time seeing it?
No, I saw it originally, and I like the movie. And my beef, and I can say this, proudly, is I just think the problem with that movie is they shouldn't have gone up against gods already. I think we should have built up and built a little more before throwing in some gods coming after them, especially gods of Titans. And but no, I really enjoyed Shazam too.
Yeah, I thought the final battle with him and Lucy Liu was actually really, really well done.
I thought a
But I
lot
can
of it
see
was.
that the fact that he has the power of gods, it's kind of tough to come up with something else. Like he's got giant monsters and weird mad
It
scientist
was
stuff.
it
Pretty
was
cool
the
rap.
first one. We had I wish we would have gone with the they would have done the whole tease that we got at both ends, because
Mr. Mine.
basically they teased. Yeah,
yeah,
I was kind of hoping they would have went that route, and we would have seen some more regular villains. I'm not saying but not gods kind of thing. And I understand Shazam is totally encompassed, in the magical and God realm, but so early on in the movies, I just think it was a bad, maybe plot choice. I don't
and
know,
and
but I
the
enjoy. I
tease
mean,
at
Lucy Liu's.
the tease at the end of the second one was kind of stupid. It was the
I
exact
love.
same one as the
Well, no,
first. Only
was.
the caterpillar said, "I'm not ready yet."
Mhm.
And then he goes away, and then fucking Stanley Tucci's what's his face? Is Mark or what? Mark Strong's all ah!
And so that if that count, that means Flash tickets went on sale this week as well. This past Tuesday, the tickets for the Flash that releases technically June 15th. That Thursday went on sale nationwide. I've got my tickets. Me, Kyle, Pops, and Paul, the LCS owner, we're all going Thursday to the very first IMAX showing they've got
IMAX,
for it.
baby, IMAX.
I'm going Friday, and they've been saying, and I'm sure most people know this, but they've been saying that so far what they've showed at Cinecon and what they've shown to people so far is not the complete movie yet. That
Yeah,
Yeah,
supposedly
they
it
like Becker went and saw it, and they
supposedly.
gave him the
right.
same speech. What you're going to see is what we have. We do want people's feedback. We want to know what you enjoyed. We want to know what you didn't enjoy, and don't say you liked it all, kind of thing. And what you're watching is potentially not the final cut of the film.
Because we got that advanced screening here in Colorado, and I had a coworker that went and saw it, and they said the same thing that Mike had said. That there was two scenes that felt like they could or could not leave in the film. Everything else felt legit, but there was two scenes.
They didn't feel finished almost. They weren't polished.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I'm hyped. I mean, everything that I've heard about the movie is nothing but good. I mean, the fact
I was
that
gonna
I've
say I
heard
haven't
people
seen
were
anything
standing
negative.
up in the audience and cheering. I mean, standing up in the audience. When's the last time y'all saw a movie where people were standing up in the audience and cheering? It's probably Endgame or shit. Maybe for me, it might have been Star Wars Episode
It would be
1 or something.
Endgame and then the first Avengers, I think. I tend to go to I have good theater experiences. There's been nothing recently where people do that. I'm normally the only one hooting and hollering in a theater recently.
You're that
Like
guy.
going to see him Black Adam. Oh shit!
There was,
When
Black
Superman walked up at the end of Black Adam, people were
yeah, I did
excited.
that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was pretty hype.
Little did they know.
I hate that part. Dang it.
Yeah, I got to see the advanced screening in the love Triangle Flash had with himself and Groot. It was interesting. Clooney Batman with nipples is in the Flash.
That's
I
a
hope so.
rumor.
Yeah, we're getting there'll be a hyper time scene, obviously, where they cameo
I
a
mean,
lot of stuff.
I was one. I was one of those people where that's like, and I heard people talking mess about, what was it, Batman Legacy number 800 or whatever, and all the different cameos. I love that shit. I eat that shit up. I like the fact that we're kind of finally getting a shared like multiverse, and they're not afraid to show, you know, good appearances, bad appearances. And I know Disney's doing the same thing, but why not? I mean, how often have Marvel and DC copied each other over the years?
Yeah, one thing to remember about the Flashpoint story is it's not a multiversal movie. It's a time travel movie. He doesn't go to a different universe. He messes up the actual universe, the actual timeline.
And we actually get a universe that spawns out of his bed. No, I mean, but if they were going to do that, I would like them to stick with that. But that means we would have got like Flashpoint Batman, and I would love that. I mean,
Michael Keaton is Flashpoint Batman. This is not Batman '89 in this movie. This is Flashpoint Batman played by Michael Keaton. People kind of
he has like blonde hair almost.
It's whited out here where he's older. Like it's going to be Bruce Wayne. I don't think they're going to pull a Thomas Wayne swerve. It's obviously Bruce Wayne. I don't think they're trying to go too far into the weeds with the comic stuff. Yeah, you'll kind of lose people if you try to go too far into the weeds. But it's this is Flashpoint Batman.
I wasn't hoping that we'd actually get to see like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I mean, they kind of built that up, and I was hyped to actually see that version of.
We were going there with we were definitely going there with Zack Snyder.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping they were going to do that route, especially with those actors and everything. And I'm on the fence where I don't think it would have been that hard to explain or do.
It was originally called Flashpoint. That was when they first announced it. It was called Flashpoint.
I remember. But I mean, I still like this idea too. I like that they're going to use this movie to fix, and not necessarily fix, but kind of go forward with Gunn's universe or whatever. I do like that idea. I mean, Doctor Who does it all the time when they replace like an actor or whatever. Like
Deceased would be an ambitious project. That would be hard to do justice to, especially like keep in mind Flashpoint is only 5 issues. 5 issues. That's it. You're in and out. It is super fast paced. Me and Paul were talking about that. The DC animated movie goes way more in depth, way more in depth than those 5 issues did. But DC, so that's what is that like 7, 8? That's like you're looking at like over 20 something issues over decades worth of time.
3 major series, right? 2 more series,
one
online series.
Online series. Yeah, you're looking with Hope at World's End. You're looking at like 30 something issues and decades worth of
it's massive
time. But man, it ended phenomenally. I heard Grant Gustin didn't get any love. I hope not. Grant Gustin would just muddy the water. I know there's a lot of people. I don't want to say a lot. There's people that are like, we need to replace him with Grant Gustin. That just sounds like such a terrible idea to me. I think Grant Gustin
I didn't want them to do that.
Yeah, Grant Gustin did great. His purpose. He's great for CW, but did you realize that he's smaller than Ezra Miller? Ezra Miller looks small, especially next to Ben Affleck or Henry Cavill, these silver screen superheroes. When you look at Ezra and Grant side by side, Ezra's like that much taller than Grant. Super tiny dude.
Miller when they met during the Future's End or whatever, when in that crossover scene, they had to make him like crouch down so he wasn't that much taller than Grant Gustin. I thought that was funny though, watching the behind the scenes of that. But like honestly, I'm a fan of his Flash. I like that. That's great. I'm not a big fan of the CW verse. Nowadays, I expect a little more from my superhero shows or movies, especially when we're getting stuff like Peacemaker.
If you expect more from your superhero shows, you should check out Superman and Lois. I love that show. That's top tier storytelling right there, like legit.
But I wouldn't be against the fence if they would have taken that Flash and made like a separate, like that, Flash for a movie and had it like connect to the CW verse. I think that would have worked, and it would have been
absolutely. I don't want to muddy the water of like their future cinematic universe with Grant Gustin, who has like a decade as like 12-year-old kids Flash, made for younger audiences on a teen drama network kind of thing. It wasn't until recently when they got, like, I guess, the critical praise from Stargirl that they're like, let's tonally shift away from the Arrowverse. And they've completely tonally shift away from the Arrowverse. The Arrowverse is done. The Flash wrapped. It is 100% finished. Superman and Lois is not Arrowverse. It's its own universe. Over there, Superman is the only meta-human kind of thing.
It feels different. All those shows.
Yeah, the way it's shot, the color, the tone, like, we've confirmed.
If you go on to Titans expecting some CW stuff, I mean, they're cursing, they're saying bad dick, like, I mean, there's all kind of crazy stuff. It's more adult, and I appreciate that.
Although if you're looking for Grant Gustin, you can find him in an episode of Titans.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Aggressive. He said, it's their season finale, and Ezra showed up on the show. Throw the CW guy a cameo, you rat bastards.
Right.
Dude, I would have been perfectly fine if you see Grant just inside the Hyper Time cameo run, just faces flashing by.
He passes by him or something.
Grant Gustin did not even know he was in that episode of Titans. Someone told him during an interview and showed him the clip. And he's like, oh, really? That's interesting.
How did you not know? What was he doing, filming at the same time?
No, they just pulled a clip from one of the episodes that he did and just used it in the because it was one of those things, like, it's kind of like what Mark was just saying. It was from the episode Dude, Where's My Gar, where Gar travels through the multiverse and he sees these things all different places.
I do remember that.
Well, we're at the 1 hour mark here. Y'all want to touch on some funny books?
Sure.
I keep getting like a waft of like the electricity smell. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Like when something plugged in and it's hot.
Like you turned on your heater for the first time for the year type hot type?
No,
smell?
that's like the smell of dust. Like, I know what you're talking about, but it's like I'm like touching all my devices and stuff and like trying to feel if there's heat anywhere, and there's not. It's very unnerving. Esteban said, yeah, let's talk about comics. So let's do it. Ozone. It's the smell of ozone, yeah. All right, so there's only a few books from this week. We got Mike here, who is a reader of a lot of stuff outside of my pool list, so he's going to be bringing some different stuff to the table this week. And we're going to start with Mike and just hit on some books that you're enjoying. They don't have to be this week because, again, you're going to have countless things that are never touched on this show. So I'm expecting to hear some books. I'm going to tell you, no way, that's trash, and you're going to explain how it's good.
No way, I like this game. All right, so I read this, and this is Batman White Knights Presents Generation Joker, issue 1. It was fantastic. I know a lot of people were skeptical because this is kind of off the beaten path of the main series. Yep. But, I mean, this whole series, I mean, I know you weren't a fan of the Harley Quinn stuff, but I enjoyed all that. I like getting the backstory. I cried at the end of the issue when she lost Jam. When she lost the hyena and stuff, and then we got the little puppy, we got Bruce. I liked all that stuff, but I do like the kids. I like Bruce and Jackie. I do like Harley and Batman together. I think it's a different dynamic that we haven't seen. But this was great, and then getting it, I don't know if I can, spoilers, but the actual villain of the series was pretty dope. The daughter of Ventriloquist, I think it was.
Oh, okay. That's not.
Yeah, I was surprised by that one. What is it, Paul?
That's not written by Sean Murphy, right? I think
it's written by Katana Collins. It's Sean Gordon Murphy's wife. So just like the Harley Quinn one, Sean Gordon Murphy's taking a back seat, and they're using his name and his cover to sell the book to keep the White Knight series alive until we get to his next volume. And because of the Harley Quinn one, I was thinking this one is going to probably be another miss. I'm going to be honest. I read the book, and as I'm reading it, like sitting there reading, I'm like, this is actually pretty good. One of the bigger strengths it has for it is at the end of the White Knight Beyond series, they introduced Wonder Woman, they introduced Jon Stewart, they teased Superman, so they're rolling in the whole JLA in the capacity that they'll be introduced and part of the White Knight universe. Yeah. And we're getting to see that continuation into this. So I enjoyed the dynamic with Bruce and Harley and Diana, and you get to see how like tight their relationship has gotten over these 3.5 volumes, with the little language that they speak with each other and how Harley picks up on it and like kind of go looking for the kids on her own. I thought that was great. I just thought the dynamic. Yeah, I thought the dynamic with the Joker and his kids was awesome. He's like a falling upward kind of guy, you know what I mean? And he's no different in this. The whole principle of the book, the whole premise of the book was he knows that this AI hologram that he is on a limited time. Like it's going to delete and he'll be gone forever. So he wants his kids to have an opportunity to know who he is. So he's not in Joker mindset. He's in like Jack mindset.
He doesn't want him to get him to know the Joker. He wants him to know Jack Napier before he turned to the Joker. Like the things that he was proud of before.
And it's looking like he's delusional to himself. Like he thinks that he has this past before Joker where he has something worth value to teach or show his kids. And as he's taking them on this outing to his home to this, it's turning out that he has like a skewed version of what his past looks like. And maybe he shouldn't be showing him anyways.
I like the
comics are for children and media shells. Thanks for the comment, Bob Bobber. Be sure to hit that thumbs up below. It's spelled THUMBSUP. Thumbs up. But yeah, I appreciate the comment. Appreciate 2 comments. We got a Shills comment as well. You rock, Bob. Leave some more comments. I haven't had a good laugh since the stream started, and it looks like you're my entertainment for today. So keep them coming. But yeah, I was actually thoroughly impressed with how smooth it was written because Katana did not blow me away in that first one. And I've loved the White Knight universe that they've created, which for Bob's sake, I do want to tell Bob it's an 18+ book. It's a mature rated book. Shocker about Batman.
Right.
Who would have thought?
All right, so next book, we got Red Titans 1. I got the trading card variant, which I love. I don't know how many they've done with this. I got the Lazarus Planet trading card variant. This is the Titan variant. I love these. I wish they did.
You too, Bob. Take it easy. Be safe out there. Holidays be crazy.
But Titans was really good.
Yeah, Titans was dope.
Everything's really good. I'd say my only complaint is the first page, them starting off, like kind of, future, and without going to spoilers, but I mean, just that splash page right there, but I'd say that's my only complaint is them going, we're doing that whole like going backwards to forward kind of thing. But other than that, the whole story was great.
How did you put it, Paul? It starts out.
It starts with a bang. Literally.
It starts with a bang.
Did you read the DC Primer, that free book they put out with Waller putting out the hit? I think it was that maybe connection. Do you think that the Flash being shot is connected to Waller putting the hit out?
Yes, I do specifically. Like, especially the way they started out. It's the way it finishes out with Peacemaker at the end of it. And then him talking to Waller directly. Like, yep, they went exactly the way he thought they were going to go. They're going to be an issue. Like, I'm with you. I'm for this whole, like, Waller versus the whole, like, DC universe. And I think the DC universe is going to have a big problem because she's had, like, what now? A whole year or 2 years to build up what she's been planning and what she... I mean,
maybe Bob doesn't realize when I was born.
Yeah, I was about to say, Bob, you're saying what everybody says for the history of comics. So I'm not sure how old you are, Bob, but if your parents were reading comics, they were probably saying the same thing to you. And I can send you a reading list if you want to hit me up on IG to a couple of self-contained stories that can show you otherwise. That's a good thing about comics. If you read them, you realize that there's so damn many of them that it's easy to dodge the ones you don't like. That's why you won't listen to us talking about cringe comics on this channel, because we tend not to pick them up if we're not into them. If they're not hitting for us, you drop the title. There's more than you can pick up anyways.
I'd say after like a couple years of reading, if you don't know what you're going to be into when you go pick something up, I mean, there's something wrong,
I'll tell you what's not wrong is Bob's here to deliver fuzzy omens, and I'm always down for a fuzzy omen. What's wrong with Batman? I can like Batman if I like him. It's almost like as if it's a soap operatic medium that's ongoing and ever changing. Yeah, that's actually an honest answer to your question right there. Like for as long as comics have been around. They have their highs, they have their lows, and just look at the 60s. It was a creative low for everyone involved.
That was so good, Mike.
This
That
book
was so
was
good.
fire. This book, I mean, you're talking about. This is a book that, like, I haven't been doing a lot of DC reviews out of respect for a lot of different people, but you're talking about when I got done with this. This is a book that I wanted to talk about. Not only was it funny as shit, I hope this is where we're going for Peacemaker season 2, or anywhere close to this. And not only that, this is the first time that I've actually seen a book that was modeled to look like John Cena as Peacemaker. Like when I opened it, I was like, "Ooh, I like this." I was like, because so far this week alone, Peacemaker has shown up 3 different times in 3 different books I'm reading. You know, but this is the only book that he actually looked like John Cena. And I was like, yes, he looked so good in comic book form, like Peacemaker. But man, this story was fantastic. I mean, not only was it a good story, but it was generally funny. I actually stopped the book and read like a couple different panels, which I don't do to my brother because he thinks all comics are the same. But like, there was generally some laugh out loud, like funny stuff, like this conversation that he had in the beginning with this supermarket person or whatever about, like, what was it?
I want to make a muscle cake.
Yeah, the muscle cake, and then him actually physically asking him.
Is that an actual thing?
Is that a thing? And she's like, is this a metaphor?
I'm going to go home and Google that.
Right? He's like, no, I got you. I'll go up and look it up. You know, I got to get this muscle cake going. Like the whole,
I like the fact that he called back to the squad and invited them over, and none of them were having it. He even invited the cops over.
You're absolutely right, Mike. I mean, we get Peacemaker and all the DC Universe proper ones, who's a totally different Peacemaker than in this because it's Black Label. And this, I could hear John Cena saying all of those lines.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've read it, you know, and I do that with certain things where, like, if I have a certain actor that's already done a character, that's the voice I'm hearing in my head kind of thing. And this one, I mean, it felt like this is where the second season of the show is going.
All the way down to his actual trailer. If you watch the HBO Max show for Peacemaker, this is literally a follow-up to it, all the way down to the car and the trailer being spot on the same to let you know that that's where you're going to get the tone and style of this, the ridiculous comments and direction that this character takes. I like the idea behind it that they want Peacemaker, he's pretty much getting framed into going and taking out Deathstroke the Terminator, which he is most certainly not capable of doing.
No, I like that part. You know,
interesting to see how it goes.
I thought they were going to, you know, when they were doing this, oh, we need a hero speech and blah, blah, blah. I thought they were talking about, you know, like killing him and taking his body, and then he offered himself, and they're like, no, we don't want you. You're dumb.
Yeah, we don't want you.
My brain will be rejected out of your body. I know you touched base on this, and it's I hate when they do this, but I love this cover. But
that's Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. Yeah, man, I love this. I haven't read through issue 3. I haven't got any books from this past week, but man, I read this, and I'm enjoying it. I know you said that the end of this last issue was the, you know, I guess the kicker to see if you were going to go forward with the book. But I've enjoyed it. I liked it. But not only that, but I'm loving it that Waller's mixed up in here now. Like, every time I see her mixed in with stuff, I'm excited, because if you're trying to tell me she's going to be the major big bad of this, all of the DC stuff, I'm super excited.
Waller,
yeah, they're
everywhere.
She's literally
so
everywhere in every single title.
I love when they do the splash pages, and they show like maps. When they showed this, like, I forget what they're calling their base, but at the shelter. Now, when they actually show you everything that's in the shelter and everything, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I enjoy all the detail and stuff that goes into it. But so far, I'm enjoying the story.
Yeah. So my whole thing with it is it's super repetitive. It's episodic in a sense. Let's get this person and protect them because we're the Doom Patrol and we know better than everyone else because they're
That's what I felt like it was doing.
They're runaways. Like, they go to Gotham in the first one and save the kid from being experimented on who was affected by the Lazarus Rain. The second one, they save the kid who was affected by the Lazarus Rain and bring him back to the mansion. And in that sense, we get a little tour of the mansion. I thought the ending of the second one was great in the sense that they kind of actually put on your heartstrings a little bit with that kid dying, and the way that they had to send the kid through the air. And the third one, to be honest with you, after the third one, I'm ready to drop it. It's repetitive, completely the same, doesn't move any kind of progressive story forward in any way. It's
But they
just
were
let's
Green
go get a
Lanterns in
kid
it.
in. Yeah, then and it still somehow was boring as hell. Like there was no kicker ending to it. There was no bigger narrative to it. Knowing it's only 6 issues and we haven't started the first sight of an actual story, I'm just like, this is going to be a pointless. It's going to be a pointless 6 issues. Calling it now.
You didn't like Starbro?
No, and I'm a Starro sucker. No, I'm a Starro sucker, and I didn't care for Starbro. Wasn't for me. Paul, what'd you think of Doom Patrol?
I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not a series that's overwhelmingly, but I actually I liked it this issue. You know, I'm kind of biased towards Green Lanterns and everything, and I thought Guy Gardner was was done pretty well. Um, so I mean, overall, I think I enjoyed it. I definitely had some other things that I read this week that I liked less.
I have to say, like, I know you said it got emotional at the end, but for me, and I kind of mentioned this in our little chat, but I didn't know Dorothy was dead. So when I came across that panel and Robot Man went to her graveside, I literally had to say it in the book. I got pissed. Like, I was really, like, sad that I found out Dorothy was dead. I was like, no, that's one of my favorite characters. And I don't have a lot of experience with Doom Patrol because I was one of those people where I saw the show and I was like, ooh, I love this, you know, and I've recently like started reading Doom Patrol because I love the show. So finding out that character died, I was like, damn! I was like, no. And I actually set the book down and kind of had like a little tear. I was like, no, man, what the hell?
No. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's no story being told here. Like we're three issues in. We don't have a bad guy. We don't have a plot. It's just 3
That's why
individual.
I thought we were getting at the end of the second issue with the, you know, the whole Amanda Waller showing up in Peacemaker. But if you tell me the third issue, it didn't continue on with that, then
In no way, shape, fit. Third issue starts out in a car in the crosstown with the random character of this issue in the back seat, and them just driving home and just trying to drive faster than the lanterns.
I will be honest. I think the best thing so far about the Unstoppable Doom Patrol is the cover B gimmick covers. I've liked every one of them.
Oh, I like that, yeah, because I grabbed the gold. Like all my books are in my box right now. I do have that gold, you know, Robot Man.
The gold foil, the glow in the dark, the scratch and
I
sniff.
got the
Those have been the best
I got
parts
the
so far.
scratch and sniff. I actually bought two number one just so I could keep that scratch and sniffs. So, no, I will say at the end of the second issue when we got to the part where we found out Worm and Peacemaker did the whole like, oh, he's going to be an agent they'll never expect or whatever. I kind of got the whole like Red X thing again. Like they were going to start trying to do the whole like, oh, well, you know, wait till next issue to find out what's going on. And yeah, I'm not a big of that, you know, whole gimmick with the like they're doing with ASM. You know, it's like, oh, wait till next issue to find out this. Oh, guess what? Next issue, find out this. Oh, wait, good. No, I'm not a big fan of that at all.
No, tell me you don't read comics without telling me you don't read comics. I love you, Bob. Dude, we're here every Sunday night, and if you missed it, I can tell you're a big DC fan. You're showing your vast knowledge of it. On Tuesdays at roughly 2 o'clock, I do a DC show live stream. I even give away some new DC books every Tuesday. You should come by and try to catch those. What did you do?
I don't understand how someone thinks they're gonna improve the comic book industry by basically bashing comics so no one buys any anymore.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, actually. That makes perfect sense. All right, let me touch on a couple here. Exo Manowar from Valiant Comics, issue number 3, dropped from Becky Cloonan with the amazing interior arts by Liam Sharp. I don't know if you caught this one yet, Paul, or if this is on your late. Are you picking this one up?
I am, but it's coming. It's coming in my. I'll have it next weekend.
Yeah. So this one
was now because of you.
This one starts out right where that last one ended with Thyra, who's part of the Romans that have him pretty much kidnapped at this point, and him getting into a fight. His suit is still healing. He doesn't care. He just does not have the mindset to ever turn away from a fight, and the fight ensues. It ends up getting broken up by some of the guards, and he meets the leader of the Roman corps here, and pretty much kind of like tells them just to chill and enjoy the gifts of them and just hang out, and they're not here to harm him or anything. And he's already decided he's going to kill everybody on this ship because he sees how they treat and enslave people as they were in the past and everything. He gets kind of shown around by this the little oracle lady, and he gets an idea of what their plan is. They have an entire room full of suits they're trying to grow themselves, but they're missing that X factor to make them actually operate. They want an army of exos to start doing some conquering with, and they think that he is the missing key to actually activating them and getting them to work. They don't so much want his because they know it's bonded to him, but they want to know what it is about him. So that's where it kind of leaves us hanging. We get a cool little fight. The all the suits in there that are pretty much living suits, they react to him entering the room, and he pretty much has to keep them off of him. And it kind of teases that inside this ship, running and operating the ship, is a sentient being that's attached to the engine that he's being sent down to go talk to. So I'm sure that it's something twisted the Romans did and hooked up to the engine, and we're going to find out in the next issue. Yeah. Paul, which one you got?
I'm going to go with Nightwing. This is basically the end of the story of, well, for now, of Blockbuster's daughter, who Neron is trying to bring to, has been trying to bring to hell. At the end of the last issue, Neron gave Dick Grayson superpowers for 2 hours. That's where it ended, and so now he's flying. He's flying around. He's getting, he's meeting up with people, and he's basically, everyone's looking at him saying, you're flying now, and he's like, yeah, it's a whole new thing that I'm doing. There's a nice scene with Superman where Superman actually takes, because he only has 2 hours, he takes Nightwing and they fly up into the atmosphere to look back down on the Earth, because now Nightwing can actually look at it from that perspective that Superman had looked at it as well. And so he says, this is what you're fighting for. It looks small, but when you're fighting, it's important to get some perspective and realize what it is you're fighting for. And so anyway, we end up with Neron is basically trying to get the soul of Blockbuster's daughter, who has powers. Nightwing basically does not agree to give Nightwing to give the soul to Neron because he is her foster father now. We found that out in the last issue because he signed a thing. So and it's funny because he defeats Neron by using his magic phrase that Nightmite gave him from like 4 or 5 issues ago, the little imp from the fifth dimension. He says his special phrase is Nightwing is awesome. When he says Nightwing is awesome, that his sticks become magical, and that's how he defeats Neron. And he's kind of like when he goes to say it, you can tell he's kind of saying it like sheepishly, like he doesn't really want to say it, but that's what he says. And then we find out that Neron is then dispatched out of Hell, and Raven basically gives Hell to Blaze. But then Blaze says something to Raven, says that he can see her and he knows that there's a part of her that is missing. And it says that will be played out in the pages of Titans.
Yeah, I was hoping that Nightwing wouldn't influence Titans too much. I assumed that obviously with the creative team it would a little bit, but I still don't plan on picking up Nightwing. I know it's good. It's just
Yeah, Nightwing's been good.
Yeah, I've read it for a little bit. I just don't find myself like I recognize the quality of it. I just don't find myself really like caring too much about the dynamic of Bloodhaven, like in the bigger picture kind of thing. It's just not hitting for me.
I started because it's supposed to be Bat Family, but I mean, once you start Nightwing, it's not really Bat Family. I mean, yeah, they've spoken a couple times during the series, but really it's Nightwing doing his Bloodhaven thing. But I mean, story overall, it's been good, since, I mean, shit, for a year and a half now, 2 years.
Yeah, and I think this whole story, I mean, this whole thing with the Titans, I'm thinking if it were me and I were Tom Taylor, I would kind of now start to have the Titans part kind of less and less every issue because it kind of set up the Titans in Bloodhaven. That was a whole thing that he did here, where Dick Grayson got all the money that Alfred left him, and he set up in Bloodhaven and everything, and he built a new Titans Tower. And now that they have the Titan series going, I would assume that Nightwing would be more focused on Nightwing as well, and they'll let the Titans do their stuff there.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, everyone who's reading Nightwing is saying it's good, Flash, right? And again, I enjoyed it. I read it up until the point when the Titans jumped in with it and everything during that assassination attempt on Dick Grayson. But I read enough as is. Yeah, that's another thing, the pacing. That slow pacing. It's good storytelling, but slow. I did like when the issue where John Kent popped up. It was like one issue in Nightwing, one issue in Son of Kal-El. And then when Flash popped up, but tell you what's been fire, Jeff Johns' Justice Society of America issue 4 dropped this week. I'm wondering if they're going to extend this, knowing we have those 3 separate titles that were announced with Flash, Sandman, and who's the third one? It's Flash, Sandman, and someone else. Jay Garrick. Yeah, hopefully they extend Justice Society. I'm fine with delays if they do, but this is dope. We finally get a face-off with Degaton and the Justice Society. He's pretty much caught up to the Huntress at Earth Zero in our time, and he has a fight, and it doesn't go as planned. He's pretty much wiped the floor with whatever era of the Justice Society that he's come across. He started in the farthest future, and he's assassinating them, working back in time to secure some kind of like murder ritual to kind of solidify the death of them through all timelines. And we find out he's trying to replace them with a team that we don't know who it is, but obviously a team of villains of his choosing. And Huntress gets to the point where she's a wild card in time, so she's unpredictable for this time traveler. He's not able just to wipe the floor with him because of her. So he's gunning for her, and she's running to find her dad of this timeline, who's none other than, shout out to Bob, Batman.
Mm-hmm. Right. There were a lot of things that in this issue that kind of portend things to come as well. I mean, Zatanna tells Deadman, Batman's death must not be interfered with. And then we have some things where I'm just going to read them. It says, beware, Eclipso is within. Only the Green Lantern can save the Red Lantern. The Sandman's nightmare will something. I can't even read that now. The Sandman, the nightmare will wear the mask. Jay Garrick will find joy again. Do not trust the witch girl. I mean, all of those, we know that Jay Garrick's daughter is back. We know that Dr. Destiny is going to be part of Night Terrors. That could be the thing where, with the nightmares. We know that the Red Lantern is supposed to play a part with the Alan Scott. So,
and then some of the things came to pass in this issue right here.
Right.
There's some other stuff they hinted at that, because they hinted at the whole Watchmen connection. They hinted at the whole, that Harley Quinn and Mannequin play some part in this.
We got Burt Family 54 just hopped in. It is morphin time. Steve, I hope you're having a good day, my man. Shout out to Green Arrow. Issue 2 dropped this week. There's a full review on the Green Arrow issue 1 and 2 that's dropping at 10 a.m. tomorrow on Sector 2815's channel during the DC Deep Dive. It was a solid second issue. I'm definitely down for more Green Arrow. I'm liking the direction of that. If you want the full rundown on that, be sure to check that out over there on Sector 2815. I know y'all aren't reading it, but I was 1 week behind. I've caught up on Danny Ketch's brand new title, Ghost Rider. This is one of the retro titles. Howard Mackey's writing it. It takes place back in the 90s when Danny Ketch's run was going. You pretty much have this character who's going around juicing up street-level thugs with some kind of hell magic. And we don't know why yet, so you get 2 little battles with Danny Ketch shutting them down. You have Johnny Blaze, who was running around as just Blaze back in those days. He wasn't turning into a rider. And you get a cool little team up, and you get the whole retro feel. The artwork in it was fantastic. So it's a little mystery on why or what they're up to with that. But it goes back to the medallion that Danny Ketch gets his power from. There's a shard of it missing that our main bad guy apparently has. So they're rocking with a piece of what could potentially be the rider ability themselves. Solid start to it. I'm a Ghost Rider fan. I like the fact that we have what could potentially be 2 good Ghost Rider books right now. I don't normally find any Marvel books that I've enjoyed lately outside of Punisher and Ghost Rider, except these retro titles. So,
Alien and Predator.
I tried to read who wrote that first new Predator. Ed, was it Ed something?
Um, damn. Yeah, and Brisson.
Brisson, yeah, I just didn't dig it at all.
It was okay.
Yeah, and I'm a sucker for Alien. I haven't touched Alien and Predator since Marvel took it over, really, other than that one attempt at Predator. And if it wasn't timed out with the release of Prey, I probably wouldn't even have picked it up then.
It's been good. I just with Predator, it was the whole like they picked the the whole girls storyline, tracking them down. It's kind of like Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, Marvel is doing their whole 20th Century Fox imprint now thing too.
Yeah.
With Predator and Alien and Planet of the Apes.
And they got 2 more coming. I can't remember what they are.
I only got one more book on my pile for tonight. The brand new issue of Action Comics, the big reveal of Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman being behind the whole Metallo attack and the whole upgraded Metallo attacking the Super Family. We shut Metallo down in that last issue. Superman pulling the ultimate altruistic card, realizing that Metallo, his sister's still in danger, and convinces them to stop the fight. Let's go get your sister, and then we'll deal with each other after that. They track the little source of the problem back to a dumping facility that Lex Luthor bought, where he dumps all his old projects, and Henshaw's hiding out in there. And we have the whole Superman family coming in for a fight, and we find Metallo's sister, who's been augmented by Hank Henshaw, and that's where it kind of leaves us. It was another solid issue. Philip Kennedy Johnson continues to do awesome stuff with the House of L.
The thing I really liked about it was, so last November was the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman. We did this whole Death of Superman thing. After Death of Superman in 1992 was Funeral for a Friend, and then it was Reign of the Supermen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're reading the Superman comics now, all 4 of those from the Reign of the Superman are now an important part of the Superman story again.
Yeah, that was actually
the Eradicator comes back.
Yeah, that was a hype moment in this when they're trying to figure out what to do about Hank, and they go back to the fortress, and everyone's telling Clark, like, dude, you can't be serious. This is a bad idea. He's like, look, it's not the same guy. It's just a program, right? And they're like, no, it's the same guy. He's like, we got this. And they go and he puts the crystal in, and boom, he's like, Eradicator, what do we do? He looks around the room. He immediately sees a clone, a half Kryptonian. He's like, I see sullied Kryptonian. Should I take him out? He's like, no, don't kill my son.
I just think if they brought them all back another 30 years after they did the same thing. So,
I was about to say the same thing. No, I love that we're getting Cyborg Superman as the name. He's one of my favorite villains. Like, when was the last time we saw him? Was it Death Metal?
Who, Cyborg Superman? Yeah.
He was in Dark Crisis.
Cyborg Superman was in Dark Crisis, and they touch on that in this, how he's a technopath. And anytime like the Hank Henshaw's in the Phantom Zone. He's stuck in the Phantom Zone, but he's such a powerful technopath that whenever he interacts or touches any kind of technology, a piece of him stays behind in it. And something like him and as powerful as him in the Phantom Zone can push out far enough, and those things can activate and operate to a level that this isn't the original Hank Henshaw. This is a piece of his consciousness that's been able to upgrade itself to this point. He's pretty much Ultron indestructible at this point. You can get rid of this one, but he's still lingering somewhere and can come back.
He's still there. Unless you're going into the Phantom Zone to kill the original, which nobody is. I think at this point, isn't the Phantom Zone thing broken?
There's numerous ones. There's one down. Hank Henshaw had one down here in his little lair. With Monkey Prince and Ultra Humanite were dealing with one a few months back. It's just Val Zod and Red Tornado of Earth 2 brought one to go travel the multiverse to go shut down Ultraman a month ago. Like, there's Phantom Zone projectors everywhere.
These pop up.
I think I have one in the drawer here. You know, they're just everywhere.
Right. They're fancy sounds.
I'm halfway done making mine.
You know, y'all have any other ones y'all want to hit on tonight?
Just quick, if you're not reading City Boy, you may actually enjoy this. I be honest with you, I had low expectations going in, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's written by Greg Pak. It goes into his origin and how he was basically kidnapped, and he was taken by this scientist who has developed this machine that's able to tap into the actual physical consciousness of an entire city. We find out by the end of the story that he is actually being chased by Mannheim. For those of you who are watching Superman and Lois, and Mannheim is chasing him to deliver him to Darkseid. So it's not just your run-of-the-mill type thing. They're definitely playing with some of the heavy hitters in the DC universe, at least from a villain standpoint. So
For
this is a very
context, you're
pleasant
telling
surprise.
me that book you're holding in your hand is a new character?
Yes, it was created.
wait.
It is, although it is similar to what was the name? Hank Hawksmoor, I believe.
Jack Hawksmoor.
Jack Hawksmoor, yeah. Although
So
this is a
his
new
first
character that
appearance
was
is
created in the
Lazarus
Lazarus
Planet.
planet. So he was created.
Yeah,
We saw him first. That was his first appearance. We see his actual creation, his origin here in this story. So. But I think people might be pleasantly surprised. But it's a quick read, so it's not something that's going to take you forever. But I think you might be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I might go back and check it out since it's on the app. It does release the same day as on the DC Universe app if you have the app. And if you're looking for a new comic character that hasn't been around for 80 years and a story retold 1,000 times and he's not Batman, this is one you might be interested in. Brand new character.
There you go. Who'd
I
have
think
thought
Aggressively Relaxing is currently looking for new comic book characters in this modern day and age.
I think he's
So,
Googling it.
Aggressively Relaxing said City Boy was cool. Okay, you already found it. Good. Yeah, last time we saw Jack Hawksmoor was in the Ron V Swamp Thing 6-issue series that wrapped up not too long ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that City Boy had an appearance in the Wildstorm 30th anniversary that they did not too long ago as well. I picked that up to read because that came out. I think that came out after issue 1 of the current Wildcats run.
Yes, that was actually his first appearance. Was there? You're right.
Wildcats.
Wildcats. It's good stuff. That's all I really got for tonight. Y'all got anything else y'all want to hit on before we head out of here?
I mean, I can bring up some other books. There's a lot of the books,
I need to go rethink my life.
This is what I call an off weekend for me. Off weekends are where I've been off all weekend and I have to return to work the next day. They're always difficult for me to get up and go.
That'll be me. I'm off tomorrow, but then gotta go back Tuesday.
After work, despite the fact that it's a holiday, none of the animals observe it, so I have to still go in and take care of them. But I do appreciate you hopping on with this, Evil. Definitely appreciate it. Paul, as always, if you can hear me, appreciate you being here.
I can hear you.
Okay. The Legion Loot giveaway is next Sunday. It's the first Sunday of every month. So, I just showed off the books that we'll be giving away. What is the date? So it'll be the 4th. So they'll be giving away on the 4th. But I do appreciate you reminding me because I'm sure I'll forget next week too after having announced it at the beginning of the show. Yo, you know what we do have to give away today? I'm glad you said that, William, because I put out that Liefeld video. Yo, let me pull that up. Yeah, I put up that Liefeld video, right? And I put like a little hidden giveaway in there. So I found Liefeld on Whatnot. Well, I didn't find it. My friend Becker has been watching it, and he just puts on a good show. And I'm a Liefeld fan. And see, there we go. And I put out that video showing the things that I picked up from that stream, which were these right here is current little homager that he put on there, but it's got that. I picked up that. I wanted a specific book, and I ended up asking him about it, and he went and dug one out for me, and that's the one that I wanted. And I got it with the chisel, drop shadow, and a signature. And then I picked up the X-Force Kill Shot. But I picked up one of these from my LCS as well, so I said I'd give that away to somebody who dropped a comment. So we got a lot of comments on there. So let me pull up this little YouTube comment picker thing, and we'll give that away real quick. And I did, yeah, that one that's signed and chiseled, that's going to go into the Legion loot for next month. I'm not going to keep that one. It wasn't cheap either. None of this stuff is cheap, and he'll be quick to tell you on those streams. He's real quick to tell you. All right, let me see.
It's worth it, though.
I agree. It's like when you catch it on the live, it's still cheaper than if you go get it out of out of his shop. All right, let me share this. So I put the little that one. I put the what's it called, the URL in there, searched it, anything goes. So there's like 60 comments. So we're going to pick a winner, and whoever wins, hit me up on IG. Let me know your shipping information. It's going to be Jason Mills. I'm definitely going to have to check out his Whatnot shows now. Love the app. I've won a few giveaways as well. Cheers and thanks for the vid. Hashtag Liefeld. So there it is. He's got the hashtag in there. Let me write this down. So Jason Mills on YouTube. That is going to you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Buying it firsthand.
Yeah, it's cheaper to buy from him than getting it done through CGC. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic.
Pop said might get a new microphone.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with my mic.
It just goes from like loud to quiet a lot. It's not like cutting out. It's just like the volume is not consistent with it.
We got a huge thunderstorm going on, so it could be that. I don't know. Because it is Bluetooth.
So yeah, I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Mike, again, thank you so much for hopping on here. We got to do it again. And be on the lookout tomorrow. I know it's a holiday. It's one of those honor and remembrance kind of holidays. I do have first patriotic superhero video coming out tomorrow, and then a Wicked Big Time Collectibles video coming out Wednesday. So be sure to check those out. If you're ever wondering who the first patriotic superhero is, it'd be a perfect video to check out to find the answer. It's probably not who you think. So until next time, as always, I'm Mark, but we are Legion.